What's going on there YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. Alright guys, so basically we are going to jump back into more of our X-Men reading order. Now guys, if you are new to the channel, basically every Monday I do upload at least one X-Men video every Monday, because right now we are basically doing the X-Men reading order. Now usually each video I do cover two books, but in this video right here we are only going to cover just one book, and guys, we are covering issue number 117. Now guys, this book right here is honestly a very special book, because guys, this is the first appearance of the Shadow King. I mean guys, this is the first appearance of the Shadow King, one of my favorite X-Men super villains. Like guys, you understand, this character is, to me personally, amazing. Now guys, tell you the truth, I did not learn about the Shadow King from comics. I learned about this character from a video game that came out back in 2004, 14 years ago, a game called X-Men Legends. Man, that game right there on PS2 was amazing, guys. But basically, that game right there gave me the knowledge about this character, saying, hey, there's this cool character out there called the Shadow King. Now guys, that game right there basically said this character is so powerful, like Charles Xavier had to be a player you can play as just for one level, and that's it. But guys, the Shadow King is honestly a cool character that Chris Claremont made back in 1979. Now guys, the reason why basically Chris Claremont wrote this book is for three reasons. The first reason is to basically give us some information about Charles Xavier before the X-Men. The second reason is to give us the reason why Charles formed the X-Men. But the third and final reason is to give the X-Men a new super villain. And guys, he gave us the Shadow King. And man, that was a good thing he did right there. Now guys, when it comes to issue number 117, it does pick up at 116 left off at. Now guys, at the end of 116, we did see the new X-Men defeat Garuk. I still cannot pronounce his name, but basically they defeated Garuk and saved the Savage Land. And so basically they made a little raft to leave the Savage Land to get back home to New York. A small raft to cross the ocean. You know what? Honestly, to me, I can understand they're in the Savage Land. You know, they didn't have boats there. But honestly, this is a bad idea. You're trying to cross the ocean with a raft. You know what? Anyways, basically, the X-Men do get caught up in a storm. Now, with them basically being caught up in a storm, they said, listen, we're in danger. We might die out here in the ocean. Storm powers are right now very limited, and so she can't just push the storm away from us right now. This storm has us trapped in the middle of the ocean. Now, luckily for them, they do have a random government ship basically come by and say, hey, you guys need help because your little raft sucks and you're trying to travel across the ocean. Not a good idea. How about get on our big ship and basically stay with us until we get back to the mainland and you can call a way home. Now the problem is though, this ship they get on is not going back to America. Instead, this ship right here is going to Japan. Now honestly, to the X-Men, they're kind of like, you know what, we have no choice. Our raft sucked. We could have died in the ocean. Let's go ahead and get on this ship and ride with them to Japan. And when we get to Japan, we'll then call someone to give us a ride back home to the X Mansion. But for right now, let's just stick it out on this ship. And so basically, you have the new X-Men just getting on this boat. and basically going to Japan to say we are going to call someone when we get to the mainlands, basically. Now guys, we do jump over to Charles Xavier, Jean Grey, and Ileandra, the alien girlfriend of Charles Xavier. That's what I call her, the alien girlfriend. But anyways guys, basically right now you have Charles Xavier still mourning the death of the X-Men, because right now he has no clue that the new X-Men are alive. Now guys, back in issue number 113 and 114, the new X-Men, including Jean Grey and Beast, fought against Magneto in his top secret base, which by the way was underneath a volcano. Now this base basically fell apart and Jean Grey and Beast got away, but they believe the new X-Men had died in that secret base. And so they went home to Charles Xavier saying, listen, the new X-Men, they're all dead. And so they have no clue that the new X-Men is actually alive and trying to get home. Now, you have Charles Xavier just mourning the death of the X-Men. He's saying, I can't believe they died. I can't believe my children, my family had died. Now guys, when Chris Claremont wrote this story, he's saying Charles Xavier sat down and looked to the X-Men as children. He loved them so much, and to hear that every single member, including Cyclops, his first X-Men, had died, he is saying, I can't believe this. Like, I really can't. I love these children. They were like my own. And they died because of me, because I said you guys are my superhero team, the X-Men. Now, you do have Charles Xavier basically talking to Ileandra about his past adventures before the X-Men. Now guys, this right here is honestly pretty cool, because in this book right here, we do learn that Charles Xavier and Mariah McTaggart basically had a relationship when he was not paralyzed yet, and that basically they fell in love, like basically right off the bat. They're like, hey, I see you, you see me, love at first sight, let's get married. The thing is though, Charles Xavier went to fight in World War II and basically got a letter from Mariah saying, listen, I can't get married to you. And basically she ran away back to Scotland and told Charles, do not follow me. Now with that happened right there, you do have Charles saying, I was heartbroken then. I found someone to love. You know, she loved me, but for some strange reason, something snapped in her head and made her run back to Scotland and basically left me out in the world by myself. And so after World War II, you had Charles Xavier basically travel all over the world just to clear his mind, just to get away and saying, okay, you know what? I am on an adventure to basically just learn more about the world, but also learn more about myself. Now guys, you do have Charles Xavier tell Ileandra more about his past. Now basically, he tells her, listen, after the war, after losing Mariah, I traveled the world. I went all over the place, but I ended up in Cairo. Now guys, this is a very cool moment, because basically you have Charles saying, when I got to Cairo, I met Storm for the first time ever in life. And so basically you have Chris Claremont saying Charles Xavier did not meet Storm for the first time back in Giant Size X-Men. Instead, he met Storm when she was basically a 10-year-old being a thief in Cairo. But basically he said, when I got to Cairo, young Storm basically stole my wallet and tried to get away from me. Now, I did use my powers to stop her so I can get my wallet back. But when I did that, I realized at that moment that Storm was a mutant. Now, he does say this right here. He says, with her being a mutant, I want to learn more about her powers. And so I try to dive deeper inside her mind to learn more about her powers. The problem is though, when I did that, there was a psychic attack that basically blocked me out from diving deeper inside her mind. And so when he got hit, he realized there is a second psychic mutant, that this other psychic is using his powers for evil, basically forcing kids to steal money from people. And so you had Charles Xavier saying, I am going to stop this evil mutant from controlling kids from stealing money. So I need to find this second psychic mutant. Now, of course, he does find the other psychic. Now, guys, this is where we get the first appearance of the Shadow King. Now, guys, I might make another video on the side to explain more about the Shadow King, because this book right here is only giving you a small taste of the Shadow King. But basically, you do have Charles Xavier walk up to the second psychic mutant. Now, guys, at the time, you do have Shadow King going by a different name. And guys, I'm about to butcher this name so bad because I am the worst person when it comes to pronouncing names. Now, back then, you had the Shadow King basically going by the name of Amari Maruk. Man, I cannot pronounce names, but his name was Amari Farouk. But basically, he told Charles that yes, he is a psychic mutant, but he's using his powers to basically control people in this area of Cairo to steal money so he can have more money in his pocket. Basically, he is the ringleader of this group of people. Now, you do have Charles saying, you are basically using your powers for evil, and that has to stop right now. And so you do have Charles Xavier battling the Shadow King on the astral plane. Now, guys, this is the first appearance of the astral plane. And let me tell you guys, in like 6 pages, you get to watch Charles Xavier and the Shadow King fight on the astral plane. Now, guys, here's the thing though. If you lose the fight on the astral plane, you die in real life. And so basically, you have Charles saying, that was my first battle against anybody on the astral plane. And I was so scared that I would die. And if I did die at that moment, I'll be dead. Like if I had lost that battle in the astral plane, I would die in real life. And so basically, he told Ilyandra he was able to defeat Amari, aka the Shadow King. And when he did defeat Amari, the Shadow King did die at that moment, quote unquote, supposedly died. But anyways, he tells Ilyandra, after that astral plane fight, that told me that there are evil mutants out there in the world who are gonna make it hard for every other mutant who's not evil in the world to live a peaceful life with humans. And so he said, thanks to the Shadow King, thanks to me fighting the Shadow King on the astral plane, that was my reason to form the X-Men, to fight against evil mutants just like him. And so guys, to go ahead and end this video, that's why I wanted to cover this story so much, because basically this is the reason why Charles Xavier formed the X-Men, because he fought the Shadow King and that was his first evil mutant. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end I'm gonna go ahead and end today's video. Please leave me a like, subscribe for more comic book videos down the road. But anyways, guys, I'm out of here, and I will see y'all on the next comic book video. Have a good day, guys. Later.